Glade. The Glade is a game from Richard Breese and R&D Games. Now, the Glade is a game that when I first saw it, I was very impressed because R&D Games and Richard Breese used a very specific artist, and they did not in this one. This one looks honestly better than their other games. So I was very excited. I like a lot of Richard Breese games like Cathedral and stuff like that. This one is clearly an abstract game. You're creating sets of 1 to 4 forest tiles. And when you make a set of tiles, it has to have at least one characteristic in common, but all the rest are different. So if you have 4 green tiles, but then they have to be 4 different animals and 4 different leaves on there. Now, this is an abstract game, right? And that sounds interesting. I went through it. It sounded interesting until you play the game. By far, the biggest problem with the Glade is how it looks. I'm not saying it looks bad, but it is so difficult. They use similar colors. They use similar shapes. You are sitting there, I mean, because the whole thing is like, okay, these are the same. These are different. Nope, that one's the same. I can't do that. Okay, these are the same. These are different. Nope, I can't do that either. And the luck of the things that you draw is way too high for a game where placement matters this much. And note, I'm talking about the simpler game of the two. There's another side where things that match matter. The board makes you go cross-eyed as you look at it. And the meaningful choices in this game, it sounds like there's meaningful choices, but the meaningful choices aren't like, ooh, where and what can I do? But it's more like, what can I even do? And because it's kind of like a what can I even do, I'm not sure that it's worth it. The rules take a while to explain, and they're better off like showing rather than saying, if that makes sense. There's like 8 pages, a lot of rules and stuff, but it's pretty simple's a strong word, but it's not that complex, but it sounds complex. And it doesn't do anything that a simpler game like Quirkle just would do on its own. And that's the problem with the Glade. I think at its heart, as you put out these different matches in the middle and you get mushrooms and you do things in it, there's some interesting ideas there, but the interface and how it works turns off 9 out of 10 people. It really does. And some people, like literally, I don't think could play it because of how hard it is to figure out. The people who don't have a problem with it, or people who will plow through and do it anyway, despite that, are going to find a big game that has really, really, really random draws, and it just doesn't feel like you're making any cool, interesting choices over the course of the game. I really dislike this one. A 4 out of 10. That's the Glade.